Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and in this video we're going to be talking about patch 9.1 on the PTR, Chains of Domination. There could possibly be spoilers in here. The goal of the video isn't spoilers, but if you just do not want any spoilers at all, go ahead, turn the video off. Well, click subscribe first, then turn the video off. And then come back and check back some other time when closer to the patch releases, I guess. Again, this video will not be for the purpose of spoilers, but I might say something in the midst of talking about it, and the video playing behind me will definitely have spoilers in it, just without context, I suppose. So, basically, this first video of the patch 9.1, normally I would just be going into like the different systems or the different changes that are going to be happening, and I'm still going to do that. But I personally, throughout the day today, saw a lot of people posting videos, like of the bigger channels, posting videos saying, some of them were lukewarm, which is fine. I'm actually fine with that take. But other people just like calling it crap and stuff like that, and that you just fly through it and this and that. And so I just kind of wanted to give my own perspective about it. So I've mentioned it a few times on this channel, so maybe you've heard me if you are someone who watches my channel. But I don't play the PTR normally. I myself don't love spoilers either, ironically enough. But I had to download it and get into the PTR for this because I've seen such negative things about it, and I almost couldn't believe it because of how, long we've been waiting for content for them to put out something that's terrible and done in 5 minutes and stuff. And like, wow, that sounds crazy. So I wanted to see what it was like for myself. So I download the PTR, get on, and start playing. And I didn't even finish the whole thing, first of all. So no, it does not take only 5 minutes to do. I'm not saying it's like it's not like, tons and tons of content, right? It's not like a whole other new game, right? Like the raid and the dungeon kind of is, right? But not, the actual questing and stuff isn't going to be like a whole new game. That's just never what it's going to be in any expansion, really. So you start off with this event, and again, I'm not going to go into any spoilers, I suppose. And you are fighting and doing stuff throughout the event, but the main point of the event is to get to these cinematics, which aren't even in they're not trying to spoil it either. So some of the cinematics are in unfinished, and some of them are just not in there at all. And you're basically catching up with the storyline during this, right? So if you haven't been following the storyline long, or maybe you took a break from WoW after the first couple months or month or whatever, and you're coming back now, they're catching up with the storyline, letting you know where everything stands now, and letting you know what we're about to do and everything like that. So you do a little bit of quest, get a cinematic, do a little bit of quest, do a cinematic. So the complaints I heard were everything dies super fast during this. This is true. The mob's health has not been tuned yet. So this is not going to go live like this. Yes, if you're in max gear, you're going to be one-shotting this stuff, no doubt. But I'm guessing this stuff is tuned at the rate of like a fresh 60, or even it might even be tuned honestly at the level of like what the mall was when you're leveling in it. So it's like really low health. I can't guarantee anything. I don't work there, but I can almost guarantee it will not go live like that. And they just put that in, and that's just like that because either A, they didn't care right now, or B, they just want people to hurry up and go through it and tell them if there's any bugs with it, right? They're not really trying to make you hack down this elite mob with like a million, millions of health and take 20 minutes to do it or something like that. So that's my take on that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll say I'm wrong. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. You one-shot these mobs. And then the other thing is they're saying how plain the quests were. Now that is true. There's only a few quests though. There's not a ton of quests in this thing. It is mostly cinematics, frankly. At least it felt like to me. And no, the quests are not that imaginative. You are just killing stuff, filling a bar, and then you have like a bombing run or something like that. And so it's not imaginative at all. But again, that's not really the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to get you through the cinematics, and the in-game fighting is just kind of like a vessel to get you there. So like we're fighting this now so we can show you this cinematic of what's about to happen. So it kind of makes sense, right? Otherwise it would literally just be you log in and then there's like a 20-minute cinematic or whatever. Maybe some people would like that, but they're kind of trying to get you to point A to B to C to D by doing these like really simple quests essentially. But I didn't mind that. I think some of the cinematics would be really cool. Since I couldn't actually see most of the cinematics, I was making sure to like read the quest text and like what the dialogue is like after the cinematic's over with the person to see what they might have, like to kind of glean insight of what the cinematic was about. And I think the cinematics are gonna be really interesting. So I'm overall fine with this part. If it goes live with the mob's health really low, then that'll suck. But I just don't necessarily think that's going to happen. So after you're done with that, and that doesn't take too awful long. Again, the cinematics will make it take longer once they're actually in the game. Depending how long they are, maybe some of them are only like 5 seconds, but I know some are longer than that are even in the game now. So if they're all 20, 30 seconds, then that's a bit of a longer time. So you complete the first part, and then you actually get into the really interesting part. And this is the part that I was actually still on. Like I said, I played for about an hour straight. I'm in max gear 226, so non-PvP max gear essentially. Oh, I guess technically it would be 227 maybe with the Stone Legion and Denathrius items, but basically max level gear. Right, we're really parsing things by saying otherwise, and I'm an hour in, and I was actually having really fun. So what's really, really cool in the part that I'm on now is the Venari quest line. The Venari is the broker that's in the Maw. So we have this new Korthia thing. That's not really a spoiler. That was at BlizzCon. Everything that's like a new zone of the Maw, kind of. It's not really the Maw. People keep saying it's just a subzone of the Maw. It's technically its own zone, just kind of connected to the Maw. It would be the same thing as if Ardenweld got teleported to the Maw. You wouldn't say that Ardenweld is now the Maw. It's still Ardenweld. So this is Korthia. It's not the Maw. And so you go through this whole questline of Venari, and it's really cool. You're sneaking around. You're sabotaging things. You get some really cool lore stuff going on during this. And Venari is kind of like the vessel that we're learning through, like almost like the Khadgar in some ways. Even though that's kind of supposed to be Bolvar, I think they're like, Venari is pretty cool. And I kind of agree with that. Venari is pretty cool character. So, and we'll see if who Venari ends up being, or if they end up betraying us later on. If I believe it's technically a female character. I don't know if brokers count themselves as male or female, but I think technically it's a female character. And so really, really cool. Like I said, I'm an hour in now. And I have no complaints about this part, about this Venari part. I can at least say, if you're neutral about the beginning part I was talking about, I'm like, okay, that makes sense that you're at least, you're like neutral about it. You're like, oh, let's see how they scale the health. Let's see how cool the cinematics are. If the cinematics are really cool, a lot of people will forgive everything else. So I'm fine if you're like neutral on that part, but this Venari part's really freaking cool. I mean, it's hard to say. If you like World of Warcraft, if you like anything about World of Warcraft that's not just the end game, it's hard to not think this Venari questline that I'm on is pretty cool. And I don't know what the payoff is yet, to be fair, because I did not get a chance to finish. Like I said, I played for about an hour on the PTR, but it was really cool. I'm having a great time. I will definitely post an update when I finish everything on the PTR, basically like an update to this video. But after this, I probably will be focusing more on like talking about the Mythic Plus score that's going to be going into the game, some of the newer changes, unlocking flying, things like that. I'll probably be focusing on that. But I will update this video just in case maybe the payoff sucks and I can be like, well, the beginning was really great, but the end wasn't. So I'll get into that in a future date. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of post a rebuttal in a way to a lot of these videos saying that it's too fast and it kind of sucks. I mean, frankly, yeah, so let's say I'm almost done with it. It doesn't seem like I am, but maybe I am. And it's like an hour and a half of playtime or something like that. That's not a lot for questing, don't get me wrong. Now there's still Korthia stuff to actually do. This is just like a side thing that's kind of like continuing the campaign quest in a way. But I don't know. I think it's really interesting. You still do have the Covenant campaign stuff to do as well. On top of that, which I haven't got into yet. I don't think it was even released, at least when I was playing. I don't know when that's going to come out. I doubt until after this raid testing that's coming out. But, that's going to be gated. People don't like the gating of the storyline. But that's more technically more gameplay as well. So we'll see from there. It's incomplete. I can't fully grade it because it's not all out yet, and I haven't done it all. But the stuff I've done so far, I would say I'm above neutral on the very first opening part, and then if the cinematics are great, then I'll just say it's great. And then on the Venari part that's next, like I pretty much have to give like an A to, so very high on that. So far so good. So if you're hearing a lot of terrible news about 9.1, there is some a reason for hope on the other side of that. So I just wanted to put that out there into the ether. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because it helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.